Let's project this in place profile to our proposed. And now let's get a surface profile of our template. Profile from surface, and you just need to click on the handles for the alignment to get that to show up. That looks nice. I think that looks nice. What's going on there? That's pretty steep. So let's, well, it's very short, isn't it? Let's pull that more this way, and right there. Still don't know what's going on. That looks, so it's this bottom line here that we're going to try to tie into, and bottom line. Okay, so the high area right there, that's what I'm getting. Yeah, so this is the that is the flare and the berm. So let's just ignore that. And let's zoom in a little bit right here. And now let's make our ramp. Go up to there and start point, and let's see the slope. Let's make it, looks like we can go 5%. For how long are we? 0. Oh. Oh boy. So we're going to have to make that 7% to tie in a little bit faster. There we go. So now our ramp is less than 15 feet long, which is important. We're going to go right here, a little bit above, and then for 5 feet we're going to make a landing. So let's go right arrow, slope of 0.5, and let's right arrow again, length 5 feet, enter. So now let's bring up our ramp. Let's bring up our ramp till so I'm looking at the back of the landing to match up with that point right there. Good. So that's because we have a steep ramp, 7%. Look at that. Oh boy, that's really close. 14 feet, but that's under 15 feet allowable, I think. But we need a landing right before that, so the people are here. They're on the landing, and then 15 feet going down at full blast to our main landing right before our ramp. And that is, we prove that. So let's see, now let's make some geometry based upon that in our plan view. Come here, we're going to make a marker. Where's the beginning of our top landing? It's going to zoom in here. So it's right there. And I'm gonna make a marker right there. and we know our ramp ends right there, so let's make, and I'm gonna say that regardless of what's going on in our in place, we can transition back to that in 5 feet. There. I think we can do that. So basically I'm not going to model this. I've proved it. I proved that in this profile view right here, that my ramp is going to be this long at 7% to this break, and then 5 feet of transition to transition back into the in place. And that's enough that I need to put in back and this into my plan. And now I'm going to take one more look at the cross sections to see if there's any crazy stuff on the back end that yeah, I mean, see, everything right here can be done with grading. I don't think, I mean, I'm not gonna put a V curb or a retaining wall there, am I? I don't think so. So do I need to model that then? No, in my 10 I've already proved that my slopes here are good. So that might be it for that. Last thing, one thing I should have done before I looked at the back end was check my tabling, or that 2 feet of pavement that I tie into the existing road. And let's go ahead and do that in our next video. So one thing I noticed when I look through the cross sections, let's center that. Start at the beginning. We know there's no curb and gutter here. There's just water. Water's draining back over here. But if we go upstream, there's some kind of like. Anyway, there's a curb and gutter right here that you can see in the cross sections. That's probably something in place. And we're about 2 feet, 2.5 feet away from transitioning back into that with our mathematically perfect edge of pavement. So I'm going to grab this handle right here that the template itself is. Let's see if I click on this template thing, you can see that it's snapped to this element right here. So if we grab this element and we bring it over to about there, you can see that my gutter line, my proposed gutter line profile matches really close right into there. And if we hit our cross sections, hopefully yeah, well, look at that. That looks nice. I just zoomed right in on there, didn't it? That's great. Mathematically perfect. So now with our, once again, looking at our cross sections, our profile at the edge of pavement was designed, and it does not ride the in place because it's designed. And there's my transition back to the in place, and here's my designed ramp cross slope 0.75. I think hopefully you can see that. 0.75, here's my transition, and here's another transition back to the in place. but it doesn't ride the in place, but we need to use that 2 feet of bituminous pavement that we're going to saw cut when we put in this curb and gutter as another transition area. And I got this cool little template that I use, and it's not, if we go into the stuff I put into your folder, it's not very intuitive. Here, by the way, is the template that is used in the civil cell. And briefly, let me show you that there's this thing called the flare slider that has this little hidden element. But this right here is how I develop my flares with my civil cell, is that I put a parametric constraint on here, and I gradually turn the grass berm to a ramp. And then once I do that, then I put in a sidewalk, which I think there's a hidden sidewalk in here that has a display on it. And if I make this 0 width walk to like a 5, there, that sidewalk magically appears. So once I can take this flare slider and I can transition a flare to a ramp and then back to a grass berm again. And that's the magic of how that works, how that drives the template. And then there's a lot of other like little things in here that I could show, but I'll show that later. But one thing that I've added on to this one in another template is I added on a piece of pavement on the front end with some end conditions that help me in my design. And the end conditions are these little helpers here that help me make sure that I can tie into the in-place. This end condition right here has properties of, it's at 2%, and it's at 2% from the designed edge of pavement, and it goes out at 2%, and it has a parametric constraint on here that you can mess around with, and it goes out 10 feet, and that has a parametric constraint on it, which I don't know what those parametric constraints are named off the top of my head. I have to look at the points. The most important thing is that this is just a end condition that'll go out at 2% for 10 feet and try to find the in-place the in-place terrain. So if you see that, that's good. This end condition right here is a little more complicated, and it's easy to see if I show you a test. Come here, we'll put in an active terrain, and so you can see this end condition right here that I'm mimicking is the one that stretches out for 10 feet, and it'll stretch out for 10 feet, and if it finds it within 10 feet, it'll show up. This end condition right here, which is separate, it's going to go up at 6% for, it's going to go out at 2 feet at 6% and solve if it can solve, and then it's going to go all the way down to a 0.5% and solve, and all of that is going to be 2 feet out. So those are my parameters for, hey, if I can go out at 6%, between 6% and 0.5% and tie in for 2 feet, well, that's just great, because then I won't have to adjust my edge of pavement, and I know that I'll have positive flow into my gutter and I won't have to what they call table or shelf out any more than that. So these are just tools that I use to help me solidify my edge of pavement profile. So let's close that out. Close out of here. Do I want to change the template? No. Now let's go back to our template that came in from with the civil cell. We're going to highlight the template. We're going to go into its properties. Let's see, I'll zoom in here. Zoom in on this little drop down, which will bring us to our library. And we're going to go to the template that I just talked about, which is right here. I put dates on all of my templates so that I know which one is the latest and greatest. And it's that one. Double click. OK. Zoom back out. Let's see what happens. And what did happen? So I kind of figured it out. If we go to the library that I made, or that I augmented, my folder is, well, let's see, how did I figure this out? If we come here to the template, up here to the element information, and come here to the template drop name and hit the drop down menu for that. And I didn't figure it out, but I figured out how to get it to work, but why it's not working. But I dropped my whole library into a folder in your library. I made a folder called Mike's folder, and then I dropped my whole library in there. And what it did is it looks like it copied the path to mine. Which, okay. And then that path brings it to all these. So what I did was I went into your library. Went into my folder, and then I dragged, I dragged my template into one of your base folders. So the one that I dragged previously was the one with the pavement, and then I just gave you a copy of my creme de la creme, my awesome B624 template that drives a lot of my civil cells. Yes, we're going to say yes to that. So now let's do some damage here. And let's get a cross-section view up here, which we already have. And lock that zoom. Ooh, look at that. That looks like a low point, doesn't it? Oofta. Oofta, oofta. Well, we'll have to revisit that. And I mean, I should have done this before I did any work on the back end here, because the edge of pavement is the parent of everything. And so let's change that template around to the B624 with pavement. Okay. And it adjusted. I'm still trying to figure out how to read the tea leaves of what it does give me. But I know that if we go into our cross-section view, let's see, we're starting right there. And yeah, there's a low point right there, which is just doing havoc with. Let's see, let's isolate that. So I know I want to be much lower Let's center. There we go. There we go. So should I shelve all the way out to here, I wonder? I don't know, but I'm... So here, okay, I'm going backwards. Now let's go forward. I'm above. I should be much lower. And here I'm below the in place. And I know I can go out at 2% and tie in. Let's see how long that lasts. That lasts a good time. It looks like for a second there I have to be, no, I know this is 6%, so I know I'm still within range. This is telling me right now that I can't go out more, I can't go out at 2% and hit the in place within 10 feet. But I know I can go within 6%, under 6%, and hit in within a couple of feet. And I can do that because you see I'm looking at that line and it's telling me that I can tie in. And you can see that my edge of pavement here is almost exactly with the edge of pavement in place. So I know I'm safe there. So where are we at? Where are we at? And by the way, this pavement in the template isn't tied to anything. It's just there waiting to be point controlled with one of my end conditions. So I know I can go out at 2%. I'm looking over here. This whole run right here is going out at 2 feet and tying in. So I know I'm safe there. And so now this is the area right here that I'm above. So let's go back and look at my original edge of pavement to see if we can bring it down a little. I think we're going to be bringing it down. I know we are going to be bringing it down. And let's figure out where we're at. We're right about here. We're right about there. Okay, here's my original. And let's drop this down. Let's see if we can just grab the ramp's profile and drop it down. That tool is right in the way for some reason. Drop it down right there. And that brings our standard 2-foot saw cut a lot farther out. So that's good. And our transition back into the 0 offset. Let's see. We're still above there. Let us bring that. Let's see where we're at. This is the low point. Here we're done. So, well, you know what? You know what I'd like to do? I would like to just not touch any of that, and let's just bring our offset, our transition to offset way back to here. There we go. That didn't work. I grabbed the wrong arrow. Let's grab, is that dragging something? see, I'm going to undo, redo, redo. Okay, so it brings that back here. Now I'm having trouble grabbing the I'm just having trouble grabbing that. So we can, let's try it with a station change. And this happens all the time. Let's just try to change it by station. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep the profile together by not breaking it. And so we are going to have to go to the profile element selection thing and try to bring this back down with precision. So if we look at our profile, here is our proposed profile, and let's see, it's one of these we need to click on, and I can't do it in that view. So let's zoom back here, get that in a good, let me make this smaller, make this bigger. And we'll highlight it again. And let's not go into the depends thing, although we might have to, but let's click on this first profile segment. Second profile, that's our transition. This is our ramp. And if you can see that the ramp's got the slope of 7.75 here. Our next one is our transition, which is snapped to our ramp slope and our 0 offset. And what we're going to try to do is this transition profile is snapped to the 0 offset profile. So let's go to the offset profile, and that's highlighted there. Okay, so we have a start distance right here. Let's see if we can just grab that start station and just pull it back. Yes, is it doing it? Nope. Nope. Let's come here. And now I think we're going to have to type in the starting point. Is there this one? Let's see if that's this, it's grayed out, so let's see if we can just grab it right there. 28, nope. And why can't we? Is it this one? This one? Yeah, so I finally found the one that we could change, I hope. And I dug down into, see, I had this tree of profiles and this tree of profiles. I think they're the same. So if I dig down to this profile, which is our transition, there was one more tab open up, and that was the profile offset rule. And I'm looking at this 1.33. Let's see if we can highlight that number and change that to a 28. No, it still didn't work. Huh. Okay, well, usually that will work and keep the profile continuous, but maybe I drew it wrong in the first place, so good to know here. I'm going to draw an auxiliary profile here that is going to be my new active profile. Don't even look at the template now because it's being wonky. It's being overridden by that new. Let's come up here and let's drop that profile. I think we just need to do a level 1 drop. Now it's back in its segmented state. Let's take, so yeah, this must have, I'm wondering if I like snapped to the in place profile there rather than the offset template. And I'm going to make sure that you know what I can also do? I can also just turn off that reference profile. Now that's clicked. Okay, so let's test this now. That's 7, make that a 9. Good. Now that's active. So I bet that's what it was. I bet I snapped onto the in-place ground line and not the offset. So this is segmented still. So let's profile complex by element this whole big thing. Then let's make that our active template again. And let's turn back our reference surface. So yeah, so here's that big dip, I believe. Let's get reacquainted with where we're at. Here's our beautiful curve profile. And then here's that dip where it goes. I believe it drains into the pond in the back. So let's be smart about this whole thing and stop our... Let's see if I can do that now. Nope. Let's see if I can... There we go. No, is that working? Nope. Nope. We're going to try that one more time with precision. Like that. Right here. And go to this one, change that to a 6. Oh, it still didn't work. That's frustrating. Still didn't do it. That's a bummer. I thought for sure it was going to work. Well, let's just not doing it with precision and just grabbing. And that usually works, but it's not now. So we lowered our ramp profile and we shortened our distance transitioning back to the in place so that we don't touch where that low point is. And let's look at our cross sections again. Our 2-foot saw cut goes all the way around, and something funky happens here. Excuse me. What is it? Looks like we're a little bit, our saw cut's a little bit, it's a little out of range, but it's really, really close. So let's just go zoom through here. Yeah, now we know we can. So yeah, we proved that we can tie in most places by just going out 2 feet and saw cutting, and that keeps it a level 2 ADA design, which means we don't have to put in that many. We just need to put in one elevation, and that's great. And if they ask for stuff, you know, if they ask for verification, we just show them our model. So to get out of this video, let's just go in here and design our saw cut. Let's see, how do we do this now? Depending on how we're going to saw cut in, we'll do it different ways. But let's just first make an offset element. Go to our tools, horizontal, offset. Let's do the offset partial. Go to our edge of pavement, offset 2. And this looks like we're offsetting the whole thing. I really just want to do partial. Offset partial. That one right there. Offset 2. Unclick our start and end. Let's see which way is our station. I think our station is going, I think it's going this way. Yeah, there we go. Bring it to there. Mirror, no. And let's make this, paint that saw cut, because it's a saw cut. And bring that back a little bit. And now let's give it a profile. Do all that stuff I did before. Profile from surface. Go to our 3D. Click that reference surface. Reset. And then we're going to highlight the one that we just created. That profile, we're going to give it a best fit profile with all the parameters that I usually have. And we're going to go that best fit profile, and it already has a name, just making sure it had a name. It's called best fit number 1. And let's go back to our template, and let's give it a point control. Well, let's look at what's the name we're trying to give. Let's look at our template. And the edge of our saw cut is called saw cut. That's nice. Cancel. So let's make it point control. Beginning to end. Mode both. Control type point. What's the point we're going to do? Saw cut. Locate plan profile element. It's saw cut. Active, except for the active profile, which is best. And click through everything. No, I looks like I escaped out of that. There, now left click. Secondary alignment, priority. Always do priority 3. 0 offsets in the horizontal and vertical. And we can go back into the template and clean up. We don't need these totally awesome end condition components. So we can either like go into this template and clean those up, or we can, well, we'll just clean them up. Yeah. And let's look at the cross sections for that. Which hopefully they'll look pretty good. And it's not point control. I'm missing some green and purple boxes here, but I don't care anymore. Let's center on current offsets. Center on current offsets. There we go. And that looks nice. Nice, 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 nice. Boom da ba. That looks pretty good. And let's go back in here and see how that profile is for our ramp. Because I think we lowered the whole ramp a little bit, so we might have to do a little bit of an adjustment here. And let's not trust this projection or this reference. Let's go back in here. Another quick profile from surface. Click on the handles for that corridor. And it looks like we're still really, really close to where we were. and 7%. And that's just great. So that is, so we use this what do we use this modeling for? We use this modeling to like design our edge of pavement. So when we have to like tell the contractor how to design this gutter, this curb and gutter, we have all the profiles to do that. We have the actual gutter line profile, and we have, so this gutter line profile right here is probably what we would give him. There's that little low point right there. That's weird. But that's where the water's going to drain. I thought we stopped before then. Yeah, no, we did stop before. We designed our profile to go out past that, but our template still extended past that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take our, well, let's make a marker first. We want to stop our design right there. So let's make a marker right about there. And let's bring our design, grab the arrow that, bring our design back to there. There we go. So now the water's going to, what's happening there? Let's see. Yeah, because that's right. Our edge of pavement is already riding on the in-place offset of 0. So that's mimicking where that catch basin is right there. So we've taken care of the water coming in down the road. It's going to hit this catch basin. And then the profile that we're pretty much responsible for this ADA ramp all has positive flow all the way downhill to the back end right here where it drains into that water right there. We know that if we go into our 2D design and we turn on the arrows for our proposed terrain, and I can't stand those white arrows, they're so bright. I always go and change them to something dark. There. I know I can show anyone here that I can click over these arrows and I can see the slope. I don't know if I showed you that. See the slope 1.75? That means it's compliant for a landing. 1.72, so 99, 0.92, 0.77, 0.98. So yeah, so just by clicking on those, I can prove it to anybody that my landing is compliant. And that's enough for this video. Okay, so we did all that work. Who cares, right? Well, let's go look for a way of formatting this whole thing, including this video, and send it to the ADA people. Let's go back to my master cheat sheet, and let's do that. Yeah, okay. So I think I have here my process that I usually do, and here is my list of saved views that I want to make, and these are important. So ADA 2D design. Let's see, this is the 3D. Let's I know I want to push this right here. I'm going to put my profile view. Let's see, that's usually in number. This is stuff I just remember off the top of my head. I'm going to keep my edge of pavement view right here. My 3D, here's my and this is the 2D 2D design. And let's get a cross-section view. Right there. Okay, so this is going to be, look at my list. ADA 2D design. And this, so the ADA 2D design should be a view right here of your 2D preliminary design. And if you wanted to back end that, all the geometry that you used for that you figured out with your modeling, that's fine too. But for instance, to make it compliant with my my list here, I'm going to turn off everything, and I'm going to put in the original 2D view, and I'm going to turn level overrides off and level display. There's some stuff here, I don't know what it is, off by element, that line right there. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but this is my ADA design. Yeah, we'll call it that one right there. This is with revisions. This one doesn't have revisions, so I'm just going to call copy paste. I'm going to use one of my favorite tools, saved views, right here, and I'm going to, let's see, it's well, first of all, I'm going to click on the screen, create saved view, and let's zoom in there. Copy paste AD 2D design, enter, and it's going to ask me to click what view I wanted, and that's the one right there. And let's go back to my list. AD 2D model, that's going to be this guy right here, but it's more for the modeler's viewpoint. So let's turn Dane's reference off, and let's turn all of my stuff on that has the handles. And let's go back. Create saved view, name, ADA 2D modelers. Click on the screen right there. Got that one saved. Go back to my list. ADA 2D flow contours. So that would be this view, but I want to see the contours. So they're on this view, the 3D view, so I need to turn the 3D reference on, and let's turn all of the noise off except for the terrain. So how do we do that? We go all off and GPK view on. There, look at that. That looks nice. That looks nice. So look at that. You can come here and you can zoom in and grab any one of these arrows and it'll tell you what the slope is. Doesn't that help everybody? And let's see, one thing that I forgot to do, which I'll do now, is I will add that pavement, top pavement, to the top train. Let's come here, turn that off. I just want to see the pavement top. And let's grab the tin, add a feature, highlight the top of the pavement, reset, or left click. Let's see if it clicks in. I want the brake line, so I'm going to right click again and left click. Now it decimated my arrows because that's not part of the template. Here's a trick. Come here to the element template. Go up to, let's see if I can do this in one. Come up here to the components. There's my DC surf. And let's come over here to the, let's get this zoomed in here. And now let's flow arrows. Let's turn those to gray. And let's turn the triangles on. There. No, the flow arrow is on. There we go. And now that's permanent. Oh, but the in-place terrain is also on GPK, so let's just change that to something else. Heck, although I don't usually do this, a lot of other people do, so I'll put that on the ground in place. Yeah, even though I never do that. Let's recalibrate. Let's minimize my 2D view. And let's make this, I think if I come here now to the saved views, oh no, we still need to make our 3D view. So let's go back to our list. ADA 2D with flow contours, we got that one made. No, do we? No. Let's make this one. Copy that name, come back here. Create saved view. 2D with flow contours. And let's see, you need to pre-click into the screen that you want when you make one. Create saved view, copy paste the name, click in the tab, click in the screen. Now that one's made. Let's go back to our list. ADA profile gutter line. Let's make a view of the gutter line. Let's turn off our levels, get this element thing out of the way, keep that one right there. Here's our gutter line. Go to a profile view of that, because that's important stuff to know. And there's a beautiful view of that. Go back to our list. ADA profile gutter line. Copy that. Click in the screen you want. Save view. Name. Tab. Click. Now we got that view stored. Come back to our list. ADA profile edge of pavement 1, which is copy that name, come here to the edge of pavement 1, put that view in right there, and just for reference, that's what we designed. And I like to focus it in on the ramp. Where's the ramp? There's my 0.75. I'll focus it right there. Click on the screen, make my save view. Control paste, 88 profile edge of pavement 1. That view's made. Go back to my list. ADA 2D model. I think I already did that one, didn't I? Yeah, that's just, well, it's just, yeah, ADA 2D model. ADA 3D. And it looks like I just have one 3D view. So let's back to our list. ADA 3D, copy that name. Click in the view. Paste the name in, click on the screen, got that view done. And ADA 2D model. Let's see, so I can do that. So those are, let me just erase those in my list because those are, got those all done. All right. Let's save that for my own thing. Now, let us make the, let's calibrate all of these because I've been like moving around and you'll see why I have to calibrate them. Let's go to the, click on the ADA 2D design, apply save view. There's that view, and now let's do the ADA 2D flow contours, and check this out though. I'm going to click on that apply save view. I'm going to undo the camera position and click on the screen. So we didn't change the camera position. Notice. Now I'm going to go back and save that, update save view setting. Update the ADA 2D flow contour, and I'm going to update the camera position in this view this time. I'm keep that one marked. So now if we zoom out a little bit and then we double click on the ADA 2D flow contours saved view and then re-click on the camera position, that brings us back to there. Let's go to the 2D design view. Once again, it doesn't move the camera. And now let's just undo the, let's calibrate the 2D model view. Double click that one. I don't want its camera position because I'm calibrating it. That's the model view. Now I'm going to update that by saving that. Update the camera position. And the 3D view, I don't need to calibrate with that with anything, but let's just check that. Let's see, 3D view, camera position. That looks pretty good. ADA profile, edge of pavement. Look in the screen. Do that again. That is the edge of pavement. Yep, edge of pavement, the gutter line profile. There's that. That's the, oh, so one thing I like to do is on my design, this is my design gutter line profile. This one right here. In fact, if I click in the profile view, you see the arrows are going along my gutter line, my design gutter line profile. What I like to do, because it's very informative, go to my tools and let us project the in-place profile to the design gutter line profile or gutter line. Look at that. So this is what it was doing, and this is what it's doing now, which let's see, that's, well, it's a little flatter than what I thought it would be, but I've got all of my on this gutter line profile, I have all of my gutter pan slopes, and that's what's affecting that. And let's see, and then if I come over here, if I check it, come back to there, looks like that check right there is 0.77, which is pretty much what we designed that at. So yeah, so I'm going to update this one again. Gutter line profile, update the camera position too. There we go. And get rid of everything. Let's use 2D design. Let's leave it with the flow arrows turned on. Well, let's leave it with the design turned on. Anyway, this is all this stuff is not my work, so I'm going to put the one with the control arrows on. And probably should leave it on that one, but once again, this isn't my work, and this would be the view that would have the updated geometry and the updated ramp symbols on for flat and steep, and the landing hatching. But I haven't done that, or we haven't done that yet, so I will just leave it on this pretty view with the flow arrows. Actually, I don't like that camera view, so I'm going to set it right there. Update save view, update camera view, boom. Do that with the other ones too. I'm going to apply that save view. No, apply this one. Come back here to design, not the camera position. Now I'm going to update that with the camera position. 2D model, not the camera position. Now I'm going to update that with the camera position. There we go. And then go back to the flow. There we go. And what are we going to do now? We're going to do this really cool thing down here. No. Down here. These are saved model views. I'm going to come into here, and I think I'm going to, it's a manage a view. Is that what it's called? Maybe the tool's not here. There it is. The tool came in over here. So I've got these managed view groups. I've got the default view, the default 3D views, and this thing called the multimodal view, which is a view that has all of these four situated the way I want them. And the only way that I know to save this is by create a view group, and I'm going to call that ADA underbar review. Hit OK. Now I will leave that. Yeah, sometimes it recalibrates that view right there. I don't know why. I wish it wouldn't. Let me recalibrate that by going into the saved views. Camera position. There we go. And now let's get out of that. So it doesn't work perfectly, but what it does is it allows the ADA people to come in there with everything loaded that they want to see. So they can come here, if it's not around, go down to the ADA review, this saved view group, click on that, and then that just updates everything to the way that I kind of left it. And for the modeler, when they're in this view and they want to go tangent to something else, then what would I do? Well, let's make another one. Let's call this name. Let's call this the modeler view. Okay. There, that's the modeler view. I wish that 2D default would stay there. For some reason it always goes, it wants to do its own thing. But in theory, it's a great idea. In theory, it's a great idea. So that's that. I got the modeler view done. So this is the way that I would hand it off to the ADA model review people. And I would say, hey, look what I did. And I formatted it for you guys so that it'd be really nice and easy for you to look at. Take a look at my stuff. See what you think. Give me some revisions based upon your knowledge. Boom, 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 boom. And you can do that by going to the ADA review and maybe current that on the backbone, calibrate that, save this, and send that to them. if not, send them the video of you making those views. That sounds like a good idea, and I will stick by that. Why not send them this drawing and then send them a video of you talking about making the views and all the proofs that you put into your model, such as here's my landing, here's the slope 1.72, here's the ramp here's the ramp, which is also part of the landing. That's 1.10, and all, yeah, nice video, nice drawing, nice ADA review tool. And with that, if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you later.